So February came and went, and I saw not a lot of movies, but I saw a few movies. So today we're gonna rank them. Let's do it. Coming in at number 4 is The Tiger's Apprentice. The Tiger's Apprentice is a movie that I was excited for. I was not hyped for, but I was very excited for, and they announced it at CinemaCon in 2022, so I was looking forward to it. You know, it had a theatrical release date, and I was really looking forward to it. And then I heard that it was bumped to streaming, so I was like, okay, I'm still going to give it a chance. You know, I was looking forward to this, hopefully, because now it's streaming, it can still be just as good, you know? And I saw it, and I didn't like it, y'all. I didn't. I wanted to like it just like I want to like every other single movie that I watch. But I just didn't. There are some positives for this movie, but not a lot. But I'm going to start with the positives. And I only saw this once back in early February, so it's been a while, so I'm going to try to say what I'm thinking, if that makes sense. I do think that, well, the voice actors did a good job, I guess. They did a good job. I thought the animals were cool. I thought the animals were definitely interesting characters. And that's about it for the positives. That's about it for the positives. Going into the negatives, I was bored throughout the whole entire thing. I was bored. I was absolutely bored. My head actually was hurting, like legit hurting. And I was on a comfortable couch too, downstairs. I was very comfortable, and yeah, it made my head hurt. And the thing is, the animation's awful. The animation is not good. It legit looks like an early 2000s, maybe late 90s animated film. Like, it looks dated. It really does. The animation is horrible. It's not the great animation we see in movies nowadays, like Pixar and DreamWorks and other, you know, like the Lego Movie, and I don't know. I'm just throwing out random examples, like the Wild Robot coming out in September, for example. Like, that looks like beautiful animation. They could have made Tiger's Apprentice like that, but they didn't. And these characters just weren't likable. They just weren't at all. Like I said, that the animal characters were really cool looking, you know, and they were cool in their own ways, if that makes sense, but they just didn't have any depth to them at all. The villain was very forgettable. The main character was forgettable too. If you ask me what his name was, I don't remember. Like, I only watched this once back in early February, and I'm not watching it again. Like, it's just, and I'm trying to think of more negatives too, but I'm just like scrambling around in my brain because it was a while back, you know, but it just, overall, it was just boring. It was a very, very boring movie. So Tiger's Apprentice is number 4 for me. And number 3 on my list, I was very, very disappointed with this movie, because this movie was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. It really was. And that is Argylle. When that first trailer released for Argylle with the Suspicious Minds by Elvis playing in the background, oh, I was so hyped. You have the likes of Henry Cavill, John Cena, Dua Lipa, Samuel L. Jackson, Bryce Dallas Howard, Bryan Cranston, Sam Rockwell. You have an all-star cast. And you have Matthew Vaughn, who arguably among fans is one of the best directors of all time, you know? And I personally have not seen the Kingsman movies, but I know a lot of people enjoy those films. I know a lot of people don't really like the second one, but so I was excited to see this film. I really was, because I already knew Matthew Vaughn was a great director, and yeah, all-star cast. The trailer was awesome. You could tell that it was going to be a cool spy film, and the concept was really interesting. It's one of those things where it's a cool concept, but it's not executed well at all. You know what I mean? It's not executed well at all. And going back to the cast, everyone did their part in this movie. The acting wasn't the bad part. The dialogue wasn't horrible. It wasn't great either, but it just, my main issue with this movie is that it's super long. Like, it was way too long. I think it clocked in at about 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours and 30 minutes. So it's a very long movie. And I wasn't bored. Maybe I was bored a little bit, but besides a little bit, I wasn't over the top bored. You know what I mean? I wasn't at all. But because overall it was boring. And I like twists in movies. Who doesn't? Who doesn't like twists in movies at all? But, and it didn't, I wouldn't say per se it took me out of the movie, but there were a lot of twists. A lot of twists. And I guess you could say, in a way, that it was kind of overwhelming, you know? And just the main big twist at the end, and if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, it just kind of fell flat. It kind of fell flat to me. And I was like, okay, I mean, I called it during the movie. I did. But overall, Argylle was just a huge disappointment to me. I wanted to like Argylle. I really did. It was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, but I just wasn't a big fan of it. And number 2 is another movie that I was hyped for. One of my most anticipated movies of the year. And I grew up listening to his music. My parents are both huge Bob Marley fans. So Bob Marley, One Love. I loved the trailers, both trailers that they released for this movie. I listen to Bob Marley like every single day. I grew up on Bob Marley, love his music. He's my favorite artist of all time. I wanted to love this movie more than I did, and I just couldn't come to love it as much as I wanted to. It mostly has pacing and editing issues. The editing is not horrible, but the pacing, I felt like Kingsley Ben-Adir and Lashana Lynch both did an amazing job. They both gave Oscar-worthy performances. I think Kingsley Ben-Adir did an amazing job, but I got to give it up for Lashana Lynch. She stole the show. Every single scene she was in, all the other actors and actresses did a great job in this movie. Everyone was great. The dialogue, I wouldn't say was bad or horrible at all. But I didn't... the story... I wouldn't say the story was all over the place, but I'm trying to think how to say it. Because I have it, I just can't get it out. Like, I feel like the story, I needed more time to understand the actual overall arcing story. You know what I mean? I really did, and I just felt like I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. And I like the music scenes. There are a few songs that weren't in it that I wanted, but that's beside the point. The main like point right now is that I just wanted a better story, in my opinion. I feel like, just like Argylle, the cast worked with what they could, you know, and Ziggy Marley and a lot of like Bob Marley's wife and his daughter, and I think his other son as well, worked on the film, and they did their best. They did their best, you know, and I just couldn't find myself loving this movie, and I don't blame them. I know they worked on the film, but I feel like I needed a better overall story. You know what I mean? So that's number 2, Bob Marley, One Love. And coming in at number 1, the last movie that I saw in February, the month of February. And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate comments for this, and I'm prepared. I'm prepared to see those hate comments. I'm very tough in that area, so I can take it. Y'all probably already know what it is. It's Madam Web. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. I know majority of the population, majority of fan films, or film fans, I should say, film fans, did not like Madam Web. Did not. I actually really enjoyed this film. Is it perfect? No. Is it a great film? No. But I liked it. And yes, I would watch it again. Because here's the thing. I am a huge Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man is my superhero. I grew up with Spider-Man. I love anything Spider-Man related. I love all three of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movies, both the Andrew Garfield movies, all three of Tom Holland's movies, and I love Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. I am someone who loves both of the Venom films. I actually enjoyed Morbius for what it was. Say it's the same as Madam Web. I didn't think it was perfect. It wasn't great, but I had fun with it. And Madam Web, I had fun with. I really did have fun with it. I understand it has its problems. It does. It has a lot of problems. But I sat down and I just watched the movie. I just watched it and I had a ball. I really did. I had fun. And obviously it's not going to be in my honorable mentions at the end of the year. It's not going to be in top 5, top 10 at all. It'll be below honorable mentions. You know what I mean? But I still had fun with it. I honestly think that all three of the girls, Sydney Sweeney, the girl from Ghostbusters, I can't think of her name, Isabella Merced, I like their chemistry in this movie. Honestly, I do. I think that when they were all on screen together, it was a lot of fun to see them interact, you know? And I feel like Dakota Johnson was given something to work with, I guess. Like, she didn't know what she was doing, but she tried her best. All four of them did. You know, the villain, when he was in his suit, he was cool. But and he's not in the movie much, but when he wasn't in his suit, not very cool, you know? But Adam Scott as Uncle Ben was actually really good. I really did like his character. He wasn't in it much. Emma Roberts is Peter Parker's mom, Mary Parker. She wasn't in it much, but she was okay, you know? I think that, like I said, I know it has its problems. Trust me, it does. And I could name a lot of them. Not too many, but you know what I'm trying to say. It has its problems. But overall, I enjoyed Madam Web. I really did. I hope if they do make a second one, same with Morbius, they do it better, you know? And I know the writers who did Morbius did Madam Web, so they're not the best writers out there, you know? They're not the best writers, but you got to give them the benefit of a doubt. It's hard to make a movie, you know? It's hard to make a movie, and I'm trying to think how to say it, like, trying to think how to say this. It's hard to make a movie, but even if you don't like the movie, you got to give them credit that they tried. You know what I mean? You got to give them credit that they tried. So overall, I liked Madam Web. I know most people didn't, but I really did. So that's number 1, Madam Web. So that is my ranking for all 4 movies I saw in February. Give me y'all's ranking down below. I know y'all always hear from me and hear my thoughts, but I want to hear from y'all as well. I want y'all to give me y'all's thoughts as well. And if y'all haven't yet, I actually posted my January ranking. I only saw 2 movies in January, Beekeeper and Night Swim. I wasn't a big fan of those, but that is down below. Go watch that video. Like, subscribe, comment, and share that video. And I will be working on my March ranking soon. The last movie I need to see in March is Imaginary. I'm going to rent Imaginary tonight and watch it. And I will have that ranking up probably tonight or sometime tomorrow. So look out for that. So with that being said, tell me what y'all thought. Like I said, what is y'all's ranking? I want to know. Don't forget to subscribe. Trying to get to 1K before 2025. Twitter, Letterboxd, TikTok, and Instagram down below. I post reviews on there as well, so follow me on all those. And until next time, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you for letting me spread my passion with y'all, and I love talking to y'all. Take care.